Leviticus 20 contains a collection of laws dealing with various offenses and their corresponding penalties. The chapter addresses practices such as idolatry, divination, adultery, incest, and other immoral behaviors. The laws emphasize the severity of these actions and highlight the importance of holiness and obedience to God's commands. The principles from Leviticus 20 hold relevance for us today. Just as in the chapter, we are called to pursue holiness and obedience in our lives, refraining from behaviors that go against God's standards. The chapter underscores the need for discernment and vigilance in avoiding sinful practices that can lead us away from God's truth. The laws against adultery and incest emphasize the sanctity of marriage and the importance of maintaining healthy, God-honoring relationships. Leviticus 20 reminds us to honor God's design for relationships, sexuality, and worship, even when societal norms may differ. The penalties outlined in the chapter highlight the serious consequences of sinful actions. While we may not face the same penalties, sin still has detrimental effects on our lives. Although Leviticus 20 deals with serious offenses, it also reminds us of God's grace and forgiveness when we turn to Him in repentance. The call to holiness reflects God's character. As believers, we're called to reflect His love, righteousness, and purity in our lives. Leviticus 20 encourages responsible stewardship of our bodies, relationships, and choices, recognizing that our lives belong to God. In conclusion, Leviticus 20 teaches about holiness, obedience, discernment, sanctity of marriage, consequences of sin, embracing God's forgiveness, embodying God's character, and responsible stewardship. While we may not adhere to the exact laws, the principles guide us in living lives that honor God, uphold His values, and reflect His character. Through Christ's work, we can experience forgiveness, transformation, and the ability to live in alignment with these principles. Until next time, I'm your host, Evangelist Thomas.